Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. You know what this is. This was the finale for the season of How to Get Away with Murder. It was on for 2 hours. Now, I'm going to say this starting out. You had to be a fan of the show to actually enjoy this. It was a bit long. It was like watching a feature-length film. And it was nothing but us going over what we already knew. So I can't say that I was real happy with that. But again, I'm a fan of the show, so it was fine. So I was cool with sitting there with it and all of that. But we're not going to do a review that is long and drawn out the way the show was long and drawn out. I'm going to roll through this and let you know what actually went on and get you ready for whenever they come back. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to spend all night together with each other with this. Okay, so let's get to what was really going on. Okay, so same old, same old. You all know I couldn't stand Rebecca. Rebecca irritates me because I don't trust her. I don't trust her. She's a liar. She's a manipulator. And she's always digging up something on people and carrying on. And this is just how she carries on. Her character just goes all through me. So there was the same old going on. You know, when we came back from last week, we found out that she knew everything about the little boy that lived in the apartment where Wes actually lives now. She knew everything about that little boy, and come to find out, she did drug him and push him into an overdose. She gave him PCP as well as some other shit, and they put it in there and smoked it, and he got all high, and then he really did have a real breakdown, and that was his fingernail marks that were in the wall. They actually went back and showed as it pretty much happened, and you saw him actually where his fingernails were literally breaking off and carrying on because he was on such a bad trip with this here drugs that she had gave him. All because he was scared. She was scared that he was going to speak up about the fact that when she came in the apartment, she was wet and all of these different things that had to do with Lila's murder. Okay, so that was what it was. Connor and Oliver, they are actually moving forward. They're going to be this here couple now. Well, good old Oliver decided that, you know what, they're not going to have any sex, that he wants to go and do the whole little gay couple thing. And we're going to go down, we're going to have HIV tests done together. So they went and did all that. Of course, Oliver's all positive and ready to go and has no problem with it. And he's going to get his results right there on site. Connor actually chickened out and told him, you know what, can you call me with mines? You know, he just was really in a bad way with it, especially when the lady was going through, like, how many partners did you have? And he is just absolutely a slut, and that just is what it is, okay? So we're going to skip through. We'll skip on through. We get to the end. Well, Connor ended up getting his results, and Connor was actually negative, so he's fine. But when it gets to Oliver, baby, Oliver's positive, which is just proof that it's not always, you know, there's nobody that you can really trust when it comes to this whole HIV thing. And I'm not doing a public service announcement right now, but you need to watch everybody. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. I don't trust what anybody says. I need to know what's really going on. I mean, because now Oliver, he was a nerd. He was not good, not all that good looking. You know, he was the total opposite of what Connor's character is, yet he's the one with the positive reading. But see, this happens in real life as well. You know, because when you are the person that's not, you would be viewed to be overly promiscuous, because people would think that you didn't have the options to actually be that. You know what I mean? You look at him and say, "Child, nobody wants to sleep with him." But that's not the truth. You know, there is somebody that wants to sleep with him. And then there's another thing. Maybe there isn't as many people who want to sleep with him who would want to sleep with Connor. But look, now you got him over here and he's making desperate jumps and leaps. You know, he's just as much a risk as the nastier person. You know what I mean? Because he's making these non-thought processed decisions. You remember earlier in the program when there was a guy that came, there was another decent looking guy that was there with him. You know what I mean? So it wasn't he was having a real problem. Whether he's using his brain, using his money, or whatever he was using to attract people to him, he was having some type of sex, and it was some stupid kind of sex, something he's done unprotected. Even the things he did with Connor, he did things with Connor unprotected. Those desperate moves. And some of those desperate moves is why he was in the situation that he's in. Now he's all fucked up. So again, everybody, I guess I did just do a public service announcement. Whatever. But you need to watch everybody. Trust no one. Question everyone. Because the disease, it'll fuck you up. It don't matter. You can be pretty. You can have money. You can be broke. You can be an ugly motherfucker. HIV will take your ass down. Trust. Anyway, okay, well, I guess I did that. There's my PSA for the year. Anyway, moving on. So we'll see what actually happens with that, I guess, when the program comes back. That was sad. That was really sad. But again, bad decisions, fucking bad results. Okay, moving on. Wes basically turns on Rebecca. Her and her lies. He's had enough of her and all her goddamn lies. He just doesn't trust her. Child, they got to a point in the program where, Rebecca's a runner. She was tracking him and carrying on. She's a runner. So they done cornered her, honey. All of them got her cornered up there. They called Annalise. Because they were telling her, you ruined our lives, and we believe you're lying, bitch, and you're going to tell us the truth about what everything was and what went down. And they're going on and on, honey. They end up calling Annalise. When Annalise gets there, baby, when I tell you I ain't laughed this much, I think in 2015, they had this bitch tied up with duct tape in the bathroom. They had that bitch locked up. She was just as tied, bound up, and carrying on. It was a mess. So they ended up, for the rest of the program, they have this girl accosted, okay? Her ass is in duct tape for the rest of the program. And they're like, you bitch, you better tell the truth. This, that, thing, and the other. So they basically were running like a mock trial. Trying to see what really went on and what her involvement really was. And Wes is about to lose his mind. Because he's going through the grief of thinking that he killed Sam for no reason. Because he thinks Sam was innocent. And just a mess. Nobody's really innocent. Everybody got something going on, child. But let's just say this. Sam really didn't kill Lila. Just so you know. Sam didn't kill Lila. Per se. He actually put a hit out on her. So I guess, all in all, he really did kill her. Because he made a phone call and told the guy, you owe me a favor and this is what I need done. And he went up there and choked her goddamn tongue out, okay? And threw her ass in that water tank. Rebecca was telling the truth. She came behind them and actually found Lila in the water tank. Heard someone coming and she got herself in the water tank. That's how she got wet. But no, she did not kill Lila. She did some more raggedy shit now. She fucked Lila's boyfriend and she did do all this lying and she found Lila's phone and had her phone and all this shit. She was all implemented in it, but she didn't kill him. The person that Sam called on the phone actually is the one that actually killed Lila. And I'll tell you who that was at the end of this review. I'm going to hold it off. I had to hold 2 hours. Y'all can hold just a little bit longer. Okay. Then there was a scene with Lynn Whitfield. She reappeared. She came to see Michaela. Michaela goes to see her. She got her whole argument together. She's thinking, Michaela thought she came back, she wanted the ring back. Remember, Michaela has a copy of the ring. It's not the real ring. So Michaela has this whole argument for Lynn Whitfield ready, where, you're not getting my fucking ring, and no, I'm not marrying your son. It is what it is, blah, 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 blah. It was the total opposite. Lynn Whitfield was coming groveling, wanting her to go back with the son, because what? She had figured out, yes, the motherfucker is gay, and she needs her to be his beard. So she's coming to her with that. Baby Michaela ran her ass for fucking dust. You hear me? And told her, no, I don't need to be a part of your family. No, I don't want to be with your son. Your son's gay, bisexual, confused. Whatever he is, it's all on him and you, baby, because I like me. And I'm fucking done with it. And you're not getting the ring back. Have a good night. Bye-bye. And went on about her motherfucking business. And I laughed and laughed and laughed. And then come to find out, baby, later on, Laurel actually had Michaela's real ring. Since she found it in Connor's car and wouldn't give it back to her because she knew as long as that ring was missing, she wouldn't back out. Smart. I told you all that Laurel's going to be a hell of a goddamn lawyer. So we had all that going on. Now, there was a case. Of course, there's always a case. Real quickly on this case, it was all about this father, this Catholic priest, and he's been implemented in the murder for this other priest. Long story short, he really did kill the priest. He killed him. He bludgeoned him to death. All because he was very angry because he had found out there was a little boy who he had become attached to that the other priest molested. But the way everything looked, it made it look, because he was spending so much time with him, made it look like he had molested him and all that. Everything was weighed up on him badly, and he was going to take a plea bargain. And then he ended up coming up out of it, and he wasn't going to do it. And they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then eventually, Annalise got it all fixed up. She worked it all out, and she had gotten it off of him. And he was going to actually get to walk. But he had to come out to this whole fact that he had been screwing one of the, I guess she was a nun. She didn't ever have it going, but whatever. She was some woman of the church, and they were going to have to come out with all of that and the scrutiny of all that. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He went on in there in court and told him, I killed him. It was first degree, this, that, thing, and the other. So that was a whole mess, but you know, they had to get that in. Okay, so now we've done all that. We've played around long enough. Do you want to know who actually did kill Lila? It was Frank. Frank killed the shit out of Lila, okay? Frank, and you know what? They got me because I wasn't paying any attention. When you look back, Frank is a cold-blooded hitman. Frank should work for Olivia Pope and Associates because that's what he does. He cleans up everything. So did you really think that he only was cleaning up? That he wasn't messing up nothing? He fucking killed the shit out of Lila's ass. Choked that fucking tongue out. So I was really happy with that. And that made me like him even more. I was like, oh, you cold-blooded son of a bitch. And when I look back over the whole thing, Frank has always been that way. Frank lets no one get one up on him at all. Everything that you need to be a fucking hitman. I love it. My goodness. And I haven't paid him no attention. Really, I like his character. Fucking killer. Anyway, but that's all that went down. Other than this little tidbit, okay? This was our cliffhanger. So they got Rebecca down the basement. They got her all bound up and shit. And then something happens and she ends up getting out. And they're going back and forth with who the hell let her loose? And she just ran off. So they're like, oh, we're fucked. She's going to go to the cops, this, that, thing, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Annalise works with Wes, making sure he's all right, and tells him, you know, Sam killed Lila, period. Don't worry about it. This is what it is. We're going to get you out of this. In the midst of that, Annalise is still working on getting Nate together. That wasn't looking so hot, but she got it now. She got it, and we're going to roll right into the next season with that, seeing how we get Nate off. But Nate's going to be fine, child. Annalise is going to take care of it. Don't y'all worry about it. Annalise is going to take care of it. Anyway, but the last thing, the cliffhanger, just when you thought it couldn't get no better, now we done found out that Nick's ass done killed that goddamn Lila. Baby, they said that Rebecca had done escape. Rebecca ain't escaped nowhere, baby. Her ass was down the basement, up in the cut, baby. They done killed her ass too, honey. Enough of her and her bullshit. She ended up dead. Dead the motherfucker. And back there, over by the side of the box with her tongue hanging out. I was so goddamn happy. I ain't never been so happy to see somebody get it. See, I wanted them to take Rebecca down before they put the Christmas tree up, okay? So I've been waiting on her ass to get it for months. She did too much shit talking, too much threatening, too much telling folks she going to the cops, and now her ass is in Annalise's basement. D-E-D, honey. Yeah, dead, honey. I know I spelled it wrong, But that's how she was, baby. That tongue hanging out. She ain't stay around long enough to get that A. She's DED, honey. Dead, honey. I laughed so hard. I said, okay, they really got me. Because you know what? As I was watching this, it was getting a little long for me. And I said, this is getting a little long, Shonda. What's really going on? But she made up for all of it, baby. When she did her twists and her turns, I was so here for it. And I'm so glad that Rebecca's dead. I'm just so sick of her shit. But anyway, so this is where we are. I told you I was going to get done. We're just approaching up on, we'll be approaching 16 minutes. And that's cool. That's enough. We didn't need to go through 2 hours. We watched it for 2 hours. But this is basically all that actually went on. I thank you guys for actually being with me the whole time that we have been watching this, all through the winter break and all of that. And when it comes back on, guys, we'll be right back on it again. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. Thumbs up or thumbs down the video. You guys know how that works. And I will see you when this comes back on the air. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.